if you show them the way. Lessons from a lifetime of building loyalty in luxury hotels across the UK, US and Australia. I've spent over 30 years in luxury hospitality. From launching the Ritz-Carlton in Germany to restructuring hotels across Britain during a global pandemic, I've been in more back-of-house corridors than I can count. I've led teams in landmark city hotels, on remote islands, and in brands where excellence was not optional. It was embedded. One thing I know with certainty: people don't stay because of a job title. They stay because they can see a future, because they feel known, because someone made space for their ambition and anchored it with clarity. This week's HR Horizons is rooted in recent research from the International Journal of Contemporary Hospitality Management, which compared talent strategies in luxury hotels across the UK, US and Australia. But more than that, it's shaped by what I've lived, what I've learnt, and what I know still needs to change. What talent actually looks like. In my career, I've hired thousands of people, many with exceptional CVS. But the ones who made the biggest difference were not always the most polished. They were the ones who noticed what others missed, who thought about the guest journey, not just their task list. At the Ritz-Carlton Rancho Mirage, I once hired a concierge who had no formal hospitality background, but she had emotional intelligence in spades. She listened. She anticipated. She remembered the names of guests' pets and the names of their children. Within a year, she had become our most requested team member by name and was mentoring others. In the study, managers described talent as those who go above and beyond, who take initiative, and who grow without being asked. That's exactly what I've seen across the UK, the US and Australia. In Australia, at the stunning Hamilton Island, our best people came from unexpected places. We hired based on attitude, resilience and service mindset, not degrees, not experience. The result? A training academy that not only built internal capability, but also generated over $760,000 in revenue annually. In the UK, I've seen the best results come when we view talent through the lens of potential. When someone shows interest, curiosity, and accountability, it's our job to develop them. That shift, from who looks the part to who leans in, is where true retention begins. Why good people leave. The number one reason people leave isn't pay, it's progression. The research confirmed what I've witnessed time and time again. When team members can't see what's next, they assume there isn't a next. Even the most engaged employee will start scanning the horizon if they feel stuck. At one London hotel, I remember a brilliant breakfast server who quietly began helping the kitchen track inventory and guest feedback. He wasn't asked, he just cared. When his manager didn't notice and no development plan appeared, he left for a competitor. We only understood what we'd lost once the feedback started slipping. At the Montcalm collection, we've been working hard to fix this. We've made career conversations part of the onboarding journey, not an afterthought. Because if people don't know what's possible, they won't wait around to find out. In the UK, hotels that retain talent well have a clear structure: succession plans, development frameworks, and individual learning plans. In the US and Australia, there was often strong cultural engagement, but development relied heavily on individual managers. That inconsistency is what creates vulnerability. Culture is not a feeling. It's a pattern. Culture is not what's written on the employee dining room poster. It's how we behave when no one is watching. During the COVID-19 pandemic, while overseeing 25 hotels across Europe for Millennium and Copthorne, we had to rebuild culture under pressure. We launched a government-supported quarantine business that not only kept our teams employed, but also gave them a sense of mission. We created a system to check in with furloughed staff on a weekly basis. We ran virtual awards. We kept stories alive. That is culture in action. In Australia, I experienced the power of relationships. At Hamilton Island, flexibility and understanding were built into every schedule. Managers knew if someone's parent was ill or if they had childcare gaps. That relational leadership built long-term loyalty. In the US, I saw the strength of brand connection. At the Ritz-Carlton, everything from pre-shift huddles to daily guest stories connected team members to the larger mission. But we had to back it up with practical development, or that emotional pride would fade. Hotels in the UK excel in embedding culture into structure. Through tools like performance planning, ILM certification routes, and regular stay interviews, hotels created consistency. And that consistency built trust, managing talent without burning out the system. The researchers' most useful finding was the rise of inclusive talent models. Inclusive in that everyone is valued, yet exclusive in that targeted investment is made in those who are ready to grow. At Carlson Hotels, I led the introduction of a performance potential matrix across the region. Every hotel identified high-performing, high-potential individuals and created clear pathways for them, without neglecting the rest. Promotion rates went up by 40%. But more importantly, morale improved. This isn't elitism, it's clarity. If we pretend that every team member wants the same thing or deserves the same investment, we miss the chance to accelerate those who are ready. And we exhaust ourselves trying to create a false sense of fairness. It is better to be open, structured, and transparent. Everyone should have access to the conversation. Some should have access to the runway. 7 practical strategies that retain talent. These are the habits I've seen succeed in every hotel where people stay and grow. 1. Career conversations on day 1. At the Ritz-Carlton Wolfsburg, every new hire was informed not only about their current job, but also about what came next. People were taught to aspire early. 2. Meaningful flexibility. At Hamilton Island, managers adjusted shift patterns for seasonal workers with families. It cost nothing. It saved us tens of thousands of dollars in recruitment costs. 3. Personalized learning. In London, we introduced ILM Level 3 and 5 pathways, which are directly linked to internal promotions. We didn't wait for people to apply. We nominated them. It made them feel seen. 4. Visible progression maps. We designed laminated pathway to leadership visuals and posted them in team areas. It gave people something to aim for, even if they weren't ready to ask yet. 5. Recognition that matters. At Carlson, our Bravo Awards were grounded in real guest feedback. But they were also paired with handwritten notes and manager shout-outs in team briefings. The human layer matters most. 6. Listening structures. In one property, we introduced quarterly "you said we did" updates on staff suggestions. It changed the tone of team meetings. Employees knew their voices were not only heard, but also acted upon. 7. Development through people, not just platforms. Mentoring, buddying, and job shadowing. These small actions build a sense of belonging. When people feel connected, they stay. What each country gets right: the UK, structured development, visible progression, systems that create consistency. The opportunity now is to make sure the structure doesn't suffocate innovation. The US, emotional engagement, brand pride, leadership charisma. The next step is connecting this pride with consistent opportunities for growth. Australia, relational leadership, flexibility, humanity. The opportunity lies in layering this emotional intelligence with clearer pathways and scalable planning. I've worked across all 3 regions. The truth is that the best hotels borrow from one another. They combine the heart of Australia, the passion of the US, and the structure of the UK. That's the magic mix.